So, do you want to plop? I was gonna be like, oh no, I was like, do you want to plop it into Discord?
Hello. Okay, cool. All right. Let me just check it on my phone, and then I think we are good to go. Uh, Live is always my channel. Live. Okay. Live. Okay. All right. Looks like audio is working and everything's working, so I'm gonna share the link on Discord. All right. What's up, everyone? Haven't seen you in a hot while, but here I am, and I haven't been on for a bit of time because I was traveling in Europe, and there wasn't really like a good space for me to stream in. But now I'm here, and more importantly, I have an upcoming content creation program that I am running with this person, Michelle, and so we wanted to spend some time talking about like, hey, this program seems really general, and there's a lot of information that seems like it's going to be covered, but like, what is it actually going to be about? And wanted to talk a little bit, give you a little bit more information, but in a less prepared way because I hate like acting in front of the camera, and Michelle is also a very natural speaker, so we wanted to kind of like get a little bit more casual about our conversations about content, why it's important to us, why we made this, and what you can more or less expect in the upcoming program. And where can you find the program? I will give you the link right here in the chat, and this will be a good test for the chat as well. Okay, so it does work. Yeah. So if you're, I'll also leave it in the description of the video, so you can check out the video. You can check out the program, get more information about it later down the line if you're watching the recording of this. Okay, so I blabbered on for like 3 minutes, but Michelle, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like maybe I should do a small intro because
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
everyone knows your channel, but it's like, who's Michelle? So I used to be a B2B SaaS marketer, which just means I used to work in tech and I used to do content marketing as well. And I feel like for me, my journey has been working in corporate and tech. And then I shifted into doing my own business for around the last 3 to 4 years as a marketing consultant and also as a freelance copywriter for tech companies. And now I really want to help other solopreneurs and entrepreneurs build up their content creation and business operations through the skills and experiences that I gained in the tech industry. So a bit more practical, but blending it also with a bit more soulful approach to things. And I would say me and Billy met, I think now 2 years ago, right? I think it was winter, doing like a Santa workshop. So I joined Billy's program like 2 years ago, and now we're here because I really love what Billy's doing. Um, and recently he did the May You Offer program, which was 108 offerings in 1 month. And my feedback to him was like, oh, this feels more like the masculine way of like, just do it, like no matter what. And I was like, it would be nice if there's more like a feminine approach. Like, how do we work with our rhythms and things like that? Because for us, we have like menstrual cycles or other life responsibilities, or we're caregivers, right? So, how do we merge that into a more balanced approach in terms of content creation? And that's how the middle way of content creation program came about. Like, we were like, what is the balance way? You're not too masculine or too feminine. Let's find somewhere in the middle for you.
Yeah, and so the thing is, I don't really talk about like the business side. I don't really talk about the things that are ongoing in my coaching programs on YouTube for some reason, because on my YouTube channel I just like to give people like coaching and tips like that. So a little bit of the uh supplementary information is you all the viewers who watch my channel probably know I'm a life coach, right? I quit my job recently, so this is actually like my living. And as part of being a life coach, I run programs like for business coaching and personal coaching. But Michelle and I met 2 years ago doing one of the business coaching workshops that I ran, and then yeah, so like May You Offer, Santa's Workshop, these are all programs that I ran. Programs that I run for like month long period. And I usually don't talk about it on YouTube because I want to keep it practical here. But I don't know. I'm not really opposed to talking about it on YouTube, but somehow it just never really makes it in. But anyway, today that all changes today because now I am talking about this upcoming program. Um and I understand that you have like talking points that you want to discuss, right?
I mean, we can freestyle it. I thought we could talk about our content creation journey or like different points of our program as well, just to give people a glimpse or like a taste of what we're
Yeah.
teaching. And
Yeah. Okay, then I'll go first. So guys, I don't you may know this or you may not know this, but I managed two very successful YouTube channels prior to coming into my YouTube channel, right? And but even before managing those two successful YouTube channels, I was always a very, very avid watcher of YouTube. I watch YouTube like crazy. And I spent so much time watching YouTube that it was borderline unhealthy. But what that gave me is this glimpse of like how to make attractive and catchy videos. And so in all the channels that I ran and operated, I edited, I made the thumbnails, I did the SEOs and things like that, right? And then I saw the videos that I produced, well, helped produce and manage. The channels really went successful. But the thing is, only half of it is like my success, right? Because I'm not the owner of the, YouTube channel. Moreover, that managing was also kind of like a volunteer basis. So it's not like I was getting paid bank because the channel was doing good, right? So it's this situation where I basically worked for free but got a lot of tips on how to do YouTube. And then um I decided to be a life coach. I decided to be a practicing life coach. This means now I need to do a little bit of promotion. Now I need to do a little bit of that content creation myself. So I knew what to do. Because why? I did it for other people, right? I knew the cadence. I knew the rhythm of how the editing should be done. I knew where the subtitles would go. I knew how to make the thumbnail so that it looks like attention grabbing. I knew where to put the tags in. I purchased a yearly subscription of TubeBuddy and like I did everything, right? But I found myself completely paralyzed because I for some reason I couldn't get myself to record anything. I had this giant writer's block because somehow it has associated in my mind that videos have to be like this. If it's not gonna work. And therefore, videos don't work, don't need to exist. So I either need to spend this great amount of time to produce one video, or might as well not do it at all. But the thing is, I have lots of ideas. I have lots of things I want to talk about. But I don't want every single one of those talking points to be like 3 days worth of work. I want to puke. I mean, even now, the thought of that makes me want to puke. This is why I run my YouTube channel like I do right now, right? No editing. Everything is just like all in one take. I just talk about it and I just upload it on YouTube, right? So that's my journey with like blocking, being feeling blocked. And then I was working with my coach at the time, and a great relief came because like, oh my god, the point is to make videos. The point is not to make well-made videos. If my job was a videographer, if my job was like a full-time job was making well-produced videos, then it would be my work. But what's my work right now? My work is a life coach. That means I need to be focusing on the things that I need to be doing as a life coach. And so that gave me a little bit more priority, and that gave me a little bit more of a permission to make videos, even if they're not looking perfect. And you won't believe how many emails I get from all these agencies about how I'm doing YouTube wrong. And I'm not kidding, I get these emails like I get 5 of these emails a day on average. Because to them, this is such a wrong way of operating YouTube. But guess what? I'm not the most successful YouTuber, but I can proudly say I'm one of the happiest YouTubers, right? I'm very happy to be on this platform, and making videos is very easy for me. Sometimes it goes viral, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't care because my focus is on happy creation. And so over the past 3 years, I learned a lot more about life coaching. I also learned a lot more about the art of content creation itself and actually the active creative processes, right? And all the culmination of the knowledge that I've gotten over the 3 years. And it's not just Billy thinks this is true. This is the methodology that I use with my clients to introduce actual changes in their lives. So that's what I really want to bring to the table, along with like my distinct methodology of putting practice into your life. So that's sort of my spiel about my journey about content creation. What about you, Michelle?
I feel like that's so fascinating because I guess I didn't really know the other side that you actually ran other YouTube channels. But I would say very similar because I feel like my beginnings were also, well, it's primarily in tech. So I used to do content marketing. So I know how email marketing, writing website copy, social media, all this content, I have to do it for work. So it's so easy. And I just know what's the strategies, what are the tactics, how do you execute, and how do you be efficient? How do you like go to market with your marketing campaigns rather quickly? But then when it came to myself, like Billy and I have worked through this, it's like when it comes to myself, I also have a lot of ideas that I want to share with the world, whether it's my experiences or things I've seen, things I've observed, whatnot. And I'm just like, I freeze up because I feel like for me, I guess as I think we talked about it, it's like a double-edged sword. When you know too much of how things work, it kind of blocks you from doing what you want to do, which is just share content and share your experiences with other people or even the solutions that you have. And so for me, that was a big hurdle of one, like I know way too much. I know how to optimize things. How do I get over that and my perfectionistic side. And I would say last year was actually when I really came into fully into my business because before I was doing more behind the scene work for tech companies like freelance copywriting, marketing consulting. So I honestly didn't really need to create that much content because through my network, I would get clients or referrals. And then now I'm like, okay, I want to try something else. I want to help other solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and with my marketing and tech skills because I find not a lot of people bring that kind of industry knowledge into, let's say, the coaching industry. Because Billy knows a bunch of coaches, so that's how I got started with helping other coaches with like helping them with how to set up Calendly or like how do you write do your social content in a more systematical, pragmatic way. But last year, as Billy know, I was pretty much sick almost every other month. And I felt like for me, that was like um, a big wake up call because I felt like I was trying to grind and hustle. And I realized I'm not working with my own rhythm anymore. And so I would say last year was really when I came about to figure out what is my own rhythm. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I think that's what I'm trying to come to terms with. Like, I think this is still an ongoing journey for myself. But in the program, I do want to share the findings I found that has worked for me and other things I observed that worked with other female content creators. I feel like other than being sick or having our monthly cycles or running our own household, um, there's systematic ways that we can approach this. So I find Billy is more like, I'm just gonna create content. I'm gonna do what makes me happy. I think my version of happy is like, how does it fit into my life, my season love life right now? For me, a big one that I would also share in the program is batch content. Um, I feel like these days a lot of people, I don't know if you find this, Billy. I feel like people are like saying no to batch content creation because they're like, oh, this like stifles my imagination or creativity. But I find if you're like a mom and you have kids and you honestly only have maybe an hour a week to do something, I would just suggest like record 1 hour, like if you're recording a video and then snip it up for the week and you're still online. I feel like that's how you can keep consistent, right? But it's not realistic for people who have crazy schedules or other things that they have in their life to be like finding that time. I just find that for myself or even other people, like that is the reality. And maybe that's just their season of life. So I would say for me, my content creation journey has been a lot of like roller coaster, but I think it's helped me to see the two sides, like the masculine way of doing things, the more feminine way of approaching things. And now I think it makes sense why we're doing this like the middle way. Because I even for myself, I feel like the middle way, and I don't know if you would also feel the same, Billy, but it's gonna change. Like whatever works now might not work when you're like 5 years down the road. Maybe you don't have kids now and you have kids later, right? Like that's how you're gonna adapt. But I find sometimes when I talk about middle way, people think, oh, it's like a 50-50 split, or like this is the default way I operate forever. I'm like, no, like you gotta, this is you learning to one, be in your body, understanding what's going on, and also what is your external environment, putting all those factors inside. And it's like, okay, what is your midway right now?
Yeah. And like yeah, so we have some similarities and some non-similarities. But the important thing I want to really highlight, there are actually few things I want to highlight. Number one is this idea of like it's always easy when you're doing it for somebody else.
Mhm.
But when you put yourself on the line, there's something at stake, and that makes people really freeze up. Whether it be writing, whether it be because content isn't just about short form or long form videos, right? It's also about like writing. And I recently created a quiz to see if this program will be beneficial to you or not, right? I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. But I was really surprised to see how many people want to write a book. I wouldn't have expected it. But that aside, one of the questions is like, how do you feel about being seen? Like, you're gonna create something, right? You're gonna create a video, you're gonna write a story, or you're gonna do something. But how do you feel if your best friend is gonna see it? That's one question. How do you feel about your family seeing it? That's another question. How do you feel about your colleagues seeing it? That's another question. How do you feel about complete strangers seeing what you do? So the interesting pattern is people in general are very open to being seen by their best friends and complete strangers. But in general, they're very, very, very against the idea of being seen by their family and colleagues. I think this is such an interesting divide because this is when you're gonna be a content creator, this is something that you have to consider. You will be seen by your family, you will be seen by your colleagues. Are you prepared for that? Because so many people create, but they're unable to share it. And when that becomes a pattern, they create, and then they ask the most dangerous question of all time. what's the point? And when that question gets asked, there's no more room for motivation. There's no room for inspiration because in the end, you know where your content is gonna go. Nowhere. And that's a very desolate feeling that really destroys a lot of content creators' lives, right? And something I want to, you know, in this program, you will learn a lot about approachable ways to make content. So for me, right? Michelle is on the side of let's batch content with the 1 hour you have. I am like, during your pee break, make a 5 second video. Okay, but the thing is, there's no one right way to do this, right? And one of the reasons why I agreed with Michelle to run this together is, voila, I'm a guy. I'm a guy in his 30s and I am heterosexual. So I'm a very, 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 very small minority in the coaching world, which tends to be very female based and very queer LGBTQ based. I'm a, I haven't seen a straight guy, a straight Asian guy coaching outside of maybe I see one, but then I forgot. But it's very rare, right? But that also means that my perspective can be very skewed to my experiences. Why can't, but the thing is, I don't menstruate, but the thing is, I also don't have kids. I don't know what it's like to be a caregiver outside of, the caregiving that I have given for my wife, right? So we're gonna give you, accessible ways so that you can make content fit in your life. But also, for me, I also want to build you up. I don't want you to just create for the sake of content, which is great, don't get me wrong. If you want to do that and you learn that, that's your takeaway from this program, I'd say it's well worth the money and the investment.
Mhm.
But I want you to utilize that ability to create whenever you want to build up to a grander dream, which is why I ask people, what do you want to ultimately create? And you know what? Like, this question reveals so many interesting, cool projects. Some people want to write a RPG, successful RPG book. And I wouldn't ever expect this from this person because why? I know this person from a working perspective, right? Some people want to have a picture book based on the grocery stores of the world. Like, how unique and cool is that? Some people want to take their camera and go world traveling and shoot a video on their like travel documentary. But these things are so intimidating and they feel so impossible when you can't even create anything today. So with this program, yes, I want to give you accessible tools and resources so you can create on the fly anywhere you want, or however it fits into your life schedule. But at the same time, I want to build your capacity so that your lifelong dreams of creative, achievement, they don't stay as a dream. I want you to actualize those.
On that note, I think there's something we need to address too. Um, it's the fact that I think a lot of people think creating content these days is also for financial reasons. And if this content doesn't convert, like, what's the point?
Yeah. And you know what? I agree. So I quit my job. So this is my only, thing, right? So, and a lot of my content, actually, I want it to generate income, right? Okay. But this will definitely cover in the program. Hi, SB. How's it going? But many people have a very limited view of income when it comes to content. We think about content revenue as, oh, I got a paycheck from this sponsor to make this video, so the money came in already. Or this video is monetized and it makes a few $100s for me because it's a popular video. So I get the ad revenue from YouTube or TikTok or whatever, right? We only think about revenue from that perspective, but what we need to see is that many people make purchasing decisions based on the content that they see. So you may be building up your revenue streams, but without you realizing it, because you are staying in this idea that, hey, make money with YouTube, that means I have to have 1,000 followers and I need to have a. No, that's not a requirement. Does it help? Does it become an additional source of revenue? Of course. But we want to collectively broaden your horizon when it comes to how do I make money with content? Because more and more, it's going to be an important issue in people's, modern day life. Anything you want to add?
I would say it's definitely a balance for there's you can create content that converts, and then you can create content I feel that you always advocate for is like content that brings joys. But I feel like for you, they're all the same.
Yes.
But feel like for even people I work with, they would still need to understand maybe they're in a position where they do need the money. And I know we've talked about this. It's like if they're in that situation, maybe it's supplementing, not just going full-time content creator mode, but maybe you should take up a part-time job or go back in-house, like taking a full-time corporate job or whatnot. Like I don't think sometimes people get into all or nothing mentality as well. It's like either I just only create content or I stay in corporate and never realize these past trim projects or dreams that people told you through the forums, which I feel like tends to be like the ones that don't realize those dreams. I feel like there's always that safety or financial stability in the back of their mind. Like, is this gonna work out? Because I do feel like content creation is a longer haul game. There it's not like everyone is gonna like they're gonna see your one piece of content and then they're gonna start pay you and then you can be surviving off just content creation either.
Yeah. And so I mentioned that we want to build you up, right? And if we want to build you up, we need to give you a really solid foundation, right? And in that solid foundation, the idea of me being visible is going to be included, but also included is like, we want you to have a realistic outlook on content creation, right? We want you to be um, understanding of the greater economy around content creation, right? There are so many different ways to make money. If you are going to be making money with content creation, it's very important that you understand the macroeconomics in this market. And that is something we're definitely going to cover, along with personal reasons of if I am going to be a content creator instead of a software engineer, I should probably have a very compelling reason for that, right? But many people believe in their head that they have a very compelling reason. But when that compelling reason is put to the test, for example, can I afford rent this month? Like that's a very compelling test, right? Then they find that their, convictions waver. And we want you to have a solid foundation if you're going to build content. And that solid foundation includes a good understanding of the macroeconomics around content creation. And along with that, this identity of me. What do I bring to the table? We want you to have a confident answer for that instead of like, oh, I make videos about life coaching or whatever. No, we want you to proudly own the fact that, yeah, I'm a content creator making content on this, this, this. And why do I make it? I make it because this. And what sets me apart from other content creators? It's because this. We want you to own that answer because you've spent time exploring it. You've seen you've taken the different paths and you decided you don't like them. So you took a specific path. And so you know what you're about. We want you to have that unwavering confidence as a result of this program.
Hmm. I feel like I want to extend that to talk about ChatGPT because I feel like you have an interesting take on that because I find for myself to find that balance, let's say, is if they're still in the exploring phase or just figuring out their identity, or even like, is this going to work out? Like, I personally, I've used ChatGPT, like, even when I feel blocked, when I have writer's block, and I'm just pop in some ideas and then it generates something for me. But I'm more of like a, can you call it reflective writer? Like, I need to see sometimes, and then I'll edit or I'll refine it or even rewrite it. Because versus just sitting down and just writing. So that sometimes come more quicker for me. And I feel that's a quick way to test things as well. But I know you personally don't use ChatGPT or AI tools, right?
Yeah, I have a personal policy, and it's nothing against like people who do use it, but it's just that I have a personal policy of not using AI. But the thing is, okay, so I became vegetarian this year, right? And when somebody cooks a steak, it still smells amazing to me, right? If I'm cooking, pork belly for my wife, still looks really appetizing, right?
Mhm.
But the thing is, I'm not gonna eat it because I made a decision to not do so. But ChatGPT and AI is a little bit different. A little bit different. It's a little bit different because it doesn't even look appetizing, right? Why? Because, but again, this is my personal experience. I like struggling because
Mm.
I'm not afraid to struggle. I'm not afraid of struggling because I always find something meaningful in the struggle, in the writer's block. It always illuminates something that is actually blocking me from writing because I can totally write. I can recite in the Declaration of Independence. And, if I don't have anything to write, like I'm not actually blocked, right? So I enjoy the creative process of knowing more about myself. And that's why I'm able to write so, prolifically. But the thing is, I do understand one of the reasons why I'm partnering with you this time is that not every life experience is centered around me, right? So this is a hot topic in my coaching world, especially on Reddit. But there are people with neurodivergence in very varying degrees, and to them, it's an accessibility tool. It's not like, thinking's too hard. I'm just gonna not think. It's less about that, but it's more like a captioning tool. It's like like a braille, like using tactile for reading. It's like wheelchair. It's like an actual accessibility tool. And in that regard, if you are, if you have neurodivergence that really stifles your executive action, I think it can be a wonderful accessibility tool. But because I don't find myself as, like if I'm perfectly fine and functioning with two legs, I'm not gonna take a wheelchair that somebody else can use, right? So it's kind of that approach as well. But that's sort of the rationale behind why I have such a strong anti-AI, stance. But I'm totally not opposed to the idea of you using it or like anybody else using it. But again, it's a great tool depending on your needs and purposes.
It's also because when I talk to other content creator friends or solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, it's one like they have so much like on their to-do list. Like the other thing, I feel like sitting with that struggle, I feel like some people need to carve out that time and space to figure out. Some people are just like, I want to get this content out there. Let's figure out a more efficient way to get out there. But I think the other part that comes with it is, are you losing your voice and your perspective by outsourcing to a robot? Like, here's my idea. Now help me write a whole Substack post, for example.
Yeah, and I completely understand, but I'm having a kind of a similar experience these days. Like, it's not strictly ChatGPT, although I'm not completely sure if it is or not. But okay, what I'm saying is this: I'm working with an ad agency to scale my business, right? And for the purposes of the ad, I need to make up some videos so that we can run that video in the ad. And so I get this script like, hey, my team sends me, hey, we think this would be like a good template of a video. Okay, so in that way, what ChatGPT provides is like effectively the same as that, right? It's like the words came from something outside of my brain. So personally, a tactic that I use is this: I read it, and then I get the impression of what the message is. And then with that impression, I say how I would say it. But this, I think a really good metaphor for this is actually translation. So if you are bilingual, you understand this. You listen to something in another language, but internally you don't necessarily linguistify it. You conceptualize the words first so that it can go out through a different linguistic filter. So you get the idea from one linguistic filter, you organize it in your head, and then it exports through another linguistic filter. So that's sort of the process that I use to look at other output that came from something else, and then I make it mine. And I think even if you are not bilingual, this can be a great way to think about this.
That makes so much sense because like for myself, like I have friends who are like heavy ChatGPT or Claude. I think there's several others. Like they pay premium. Like there's a premium version, and then you can do way more things, way advanced prompts, or even personality. You can set up different personalities, and they write like that. But I just don't even use that myself. Like I would live, and there's also people selling ChatGPT prompts. Like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
here's like there's the people, I call them the internet gurus, who are like, take my ChatGPT prompts and then create a month worth of content by using like these are the target audience pain points. This is my target audience. This blah blah blah. It's very well thought out. But then my style is I kind of have a rough idea. I throw it in there. I kind of refine it as it talks to me, and we talk for a little bit, and I stop using it, and I go back and then I start doing my own thing. But it's for me, it's more like a what would we call that? Like a match, like a fire match, like it lights up a fire for me, and then I get going. But I know people who are so reliant. I think for us, it's even what I'll share is how do you find that balance? So one, you don't lose your voice. Two is you get started because I feel like the other thing is the getting started part for a lot of people. Like there's too many ideas. I even tell my clients like dump all your ideas in there, help use the robot to help you organize in themes because some people is more like thematic, and then let's start playing, this is one theme for the month and one theme for the month, and like that's more doable for them versus like I want to talk about 10 ideas and they don't know which one to start. So I feel like there's a different ways and balanced approach to using the robot and like helping like stop overthinking and also helping you get started with the writing, but without like being over reliant. I think that's also the thing a lot of people, I don't know if it's the same in the coaching community you're in, but I find a lot of people are scared of like, what if I start using AI and then I get over reliant or addicted to it? Um, and so that's my approach of like, I'm not over reliant. I use it when I need to, and that's that.
But I think the deeper intention that kind of like unites us here, although we have a very different usage pattern of AI, is this. We both want us to be the person saying something.
Mm-hmm.
But many people just want something to say, right?
Mm.
They just like, in my uh over the past year or so, I noticed that my work emails when I used to work have gotten a lot more formal
Mm.
because everybody uses AI even for a quick reply of like, hey, thanks for working on that task, and like I'll let you know if there's any concerns. Like, people just want to know the right thing to say so that they can just send it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no deeper intention of like, I want to say something. And that connection to I want to say something is something that we are going to be focusing very much on in this program. Even so, the one of the questions in my quiz is like, how often do you actually want to say something? You know, many people feel that pull, which is good. but they find themselves unable to actually create because of what some kind of oppression. On the other hand, there are people who don't really have that natural urge to talk about something, which is good. It's not a problem, right? But they find themselves needing to talk about something because of their work.
Mhm.
So these are very extreme different scenarios, right? But if you're going to be in the content creation world, whether you want to because of yourself or whether you want to because of your job, you need to
Mhm.
be able to speak from your perspective. You are the one who needs to be voicing your thoughts. Or
Mhm.
why? Are you gonna go to jail if you don't? No, I'm not saying it like that. But if you, so what's the end game here? The end game here is we want you to be happy content creators. If you want to be a creator with like the most influence, I think there's lots of better programs in this. Like you can take a YouTube Academy, like a boot camp. You can go I'm sure they have those, right? And they can scale you up. I get emails like that all the time. They can help you grow your YouTube channel. I think if you want to grow in terms of numbers, those are so much better. Because
Mhm.
why? They don't care about your happiness. We want you to make content happily. And that is something that I don't think anybody else teaches. And that's what makes this upcoming program so unique. And I'm so proud to offer it to you.
I feel like that is so timely because I also watch a lot of YouTube and I've seen a lot of creators and I'm on Instagram a lot, just seeing what's on the market as well, but also for personal use. But I find I don't know if you notice this as well. I think since maybe last year or the year before, there's been waves of big name content creators or even medium sized content creators that are just like they go on pause and then they come back with these comeback videos and they're like I had to take a break. Like I was burnt out from creating content. Like I was creating content for views, for the followers, like or whatever is trending, and then it feels like they've deviated from their original intention or vision for their YouTube channels or Instagram and whatnot. And they're tired. And either they like come have a comeback video and then they just say I'm leaving forever, or they just like come back and they're like, now I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And I feel
Yeah.
like there's that huge gap where people think being a content creator, I mean, I feel like it's been glorified. Like being a content creator is like, oh, you'll get all these sponsorships or the ad revenue or all these different things that or collabs that you never imagined, or you now built up this whole life that people paint in the digital world. But then there's also the dark side. I've seen people come out saying they spent like tens and hours of like editing a reel or like a YouTube video. And that's like, I feel like it's an unspoken norm. Like it's kind of we're grinding again. I feel like it's like you left I'm going to use like the corporate and tech hamster wheel and you create another hamster wheel and cage for yourself. And now it's in the name of content creator, where you think you have more freedom, but then now you're caged by yourself. There's not much of that freedom or happiness that you were hoping for when you left that world. Like there's a lot of creators who were in that space and are doing that, and even there's some that are doing like the up and coming ones that are still in the honeymoon phase, but I can be like they might burn out soon.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's people like you said, like no one's going to teach you how do you make content happily and consistently, right? I don't think consistent is also a bad thing. I feel like there's a lot of people talking about like I think we should talk about this where people think being so consistent every day. But like for me, like being consistent again might be you batch it 1 hour a week and then you post you're consistently online. Like that consistent can look a bit different, right? But some people feel like, oh, I don't want to show up online all the time. But I've
Yeah.
been thinking about that lately, and I've been thinking about in terms of a storefront, and I can only imagine like, what if this store only opens once a month versus like a store would open every maybe Monday to Friday or every day, right? Um, that's how I've been viewing.
Yeah. And you know, it's like a double bind, right?
Mm,
If you're not clear about who you are as a content creator, if you're not clear about why you're doing this, you can be successful, but then people are gonna recognize you because of a specific type of content that you did, and they're always gonna demand you, hey, when are you making this kind of video again? Hey, I followed you because of this, but like you're not making that anymore. But like I don't want to fucking do that anymore, right? We see creators having this kind of a pattern all the time. Like, oh my god, you used to hang out with that guy, but like why don't you ever bring him on as a guest anymore? It's like, because it's fucking my channel and my relationships have changed, right? So it's like, if you aren't completely set and determined about who you are, why you're doing this, it's gonna be really hard, because now the more successful you are, the more investors you're going to have in your content, right? These people are going to be invested in your life. These people are going to be invested in following you. So
mhm,
if you aren't clear about who you are and what you bring, you can't really hurt them. So it's like trying to wrangle sheep from all over the place. And that's going to be a hard experience, especially the more and more you get tired of herding sheep when your job isn't even a shepherd, right? So
mm,
that is undoubtedly like working with happiness is very important. Consistency. We don't encourage you to be consistent because it's the right way and like fucking this is the only way to do it. Other ways are wrong. None of the like this program is called the middle way. We don't deal with absolutes.
mm,
Why? Because we want you to understand with consistency comes a certain benefit, but also comes a certain cost. With sporadic schedule comes a specific benefit, but it comes at a specific cost. We
mm.
want you to understand and learn the specific costs of different methodologies so that you can make the best decision for yourself. You live in a big city, so you probably don't have a car. But I live in Los Angeles, so like we need a car, right? Okay, but I personally hate having a car. So would I buy a Lambo? Fuck no. Like I don't want a Lambo. I don't want to pay that much in registration and gas to drive it, like always be blocked on the one on one. Would I, if I really need one, I would buy like a used Toyota for like $5,000 or something. And even that I would be cringing because I don't want to buy a car. But this doesn't mean that used Toyotas are like the only best cars, right? Some people want to have a Ferrari, some people want to have a Lambo, and that's fine. But you can't expect the Ferrari and the Lambo to be like $5,000, right? You have to understand the cost benefit and the different choices that you can make and the associated cost benefit from it. That's what we want you to have. We don't want to guide you to a specific path called the middle way. That way, you have, instead of a binary, you have a tertiary. That's stupid. Like, we don't want to do that. We want to give you the ability to navigate in between the extremes of, I don't want to fucking do anything versus, I have to spend 24/7 doing this work and hustle. We want you to be able to find the middle ground that works for you. That's the reason why we're doing this.
As you were saying that, I feel like maybe the core essence of what we're like the underlying current of what we're creating is really helping people get their personal agency back, like reclaiming their personal sovereignty. Like I feel, I mean, I'm guilty of this myself where I outsource okay, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what steps I need to take, and then I'll be, if we use content creator, like, oh, I'll be successful. I'll make a bunch of like millions of dollars and things like that. I feel there is still a big group of people out there that are just like, just tell me. But I think
Yeah.
what we're doing is creating this environment, like a container. Okay, I don't like saying container environment, where hey, we'll be here for you as you, maybe it's like a playground. Like you can freely play and explore here and see what things look like for you and help you maybe, oh, are you bumping into something? Okay, let's get you back here or whatever that looks like for them. I feel like I don't see that a lot in the courses or group programs or coaching. I don't see a lot of that because I feel a lot of people are just saying, here's my methodology or like, here's my 3-step framework to make $1 million, you know, and you just got to follow it. I think that's what's
Yeah,
so special.
but speaking of cost benefit, right? So
Mm,
I have a certain kind of a reputation for being kind of a hardcore guy, right? Which is what prompted Michelle to be like, huh, maybe there's a softer way to do this. But the thing is, I'm I'm exceptionally hard on certain areas. I admit that. I am I'm very much yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want kind of a guy. But there is one area where I just don't budge at all. And it's when you give up on yourself. When
mm,
you don't want to find yourself. When you give your agency to other things. That I can't just watch. So I have to be very adamant about, you know, if you're my, if you're just a friend hanging out, then sure, you're not here to get something out of me, right? So yeah, I'll let you just use, I'll let you live the life that you want because I have nothing to do with that. But the thing is, if you are coming to work with me because you want to work, you want to, learn something from me, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't find your personal agency back to you. But the thing is,
mm,
this is a very intimidating process. Why? Because people lose their personal agency for a very hurtful reason.
mm,
We don't just up in the air lose our personal agency because that's the easiest or the most accessible thing to do from a very convenience perspective. People who lose their personal agencies lose it in a very hurtful way. But this is just my methodology. This is just how I work with these things. And, I understand that not many people can be fans of this, but I believe that you are stronger than your experience. That's
mm,
why you're even able to reflect it as your experience because you already are done with the enduring part. You're already done with the experiencing part. That's why you're able to retain it in your memory. You are more powerful than the hurtful experiences that you have had. But the process of it was so deeply hurtful that it impacts us like a really bad burn. But it is only scary because it feels scary. But the more you stay within my orbit, the more you feel that inner you calling out to you. Yes, it feels scary, but it's not necessarily a scary thing, finding yourself. It's actually immensely rewarding. It is actually unbelievably meaningful. You are going to live your life for you. That is something that if I didn't tell you how to do it, if I didn't tell you how to find it, I wouldn't be doing my job. And that's the only reason why I'm so hardcore about it. That's my professionalism, right? But yes, will you find your agency in your content creation? Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I do my fucking job.
yeah, I feel this goes back to whenever we talk about the Buddhist concepts, like when you when you tell me there's inherently no suffering, like this is the removal. I feel like even with Buddhist concepts, well, as we talked about, I feel like it's more of a way of life, like philosophy versus like more of a religion. I I feel like it gets to the root cause of things, and when you get to it, then everything feels like they'll just unfold. Like without pain. Although there's pain as you go through the whole process. Because it's not something we're used to doing, right?
Exactly. But it's like we have to understand that all the experiences that we have, no matter how big the experience feels, we are bigger than that experience. And yes, content creation, is it a daunting process? Will it take a lot of time? And will you have to confront a lot of your fears? Will you have to sort of change your mindset about things? Yes. But if you are incapable of doing it, I wouldn't offer it to you. So for example, I'm not gonna offer a mountain bike to a toddler. That would be stupid, right?
Yeah.
If you don't even have a driver's license, I can't gift you a car. That would be ridiculous, right? Like, yeah, I'm rich and I want to give you that like car in a ribbon bow, but like, you don't even drive. That would be a silly thing to do. So if I didn't believe in you, if I didn't like, I'm not even talking about like Michelle, one person. Like, I'm talking about all the people who are watching this right now, whether it be recording or live. I'm able to offer my very tough, very real, very hardcore, life coaching sessions and programs like the middle way to you. If I didn't believe in you, I'm offering it because I believe in your ability to do it, even if it's really hard. But the thing is, if you find it so difficult, that's why it's not a book, right? I'm not gonna dump you knowledge and run away. Okay, you have everything. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna run away from you. It's not like that. We are here to support you for the 4 weeks. Well, I realized I forgot to give you all the like actual details about the program. So this is a 4-week program that goes from September 15th to October 12th. There is going to be, live Zoom calls where you can ask us questions and we will teach you things. We will also give you opportunities for one-on-one sessions. We can also give you like office hours. We will also give you support through the Discord community so that you can chat with us in real time. You will have all the learning materials. You're going to have recordings. You're going to have Google Docs. You're going to get a lot of things. But we are here to help. We are not just here to dump a bunch of shit and then run away with your money. It's not like that. We're here because we want to educate you. We're here because we want to train you. We're here because we are invested in you as much as you are investing into us.
That was a good wrap.
All right, cool. Okay, well, that I think concludes a little bit of the talk about our why did we are running this program. Once again, you'll notice in the chat it's abbreviating, but I gave you the link to the creation program in the description for this live, and it's also mentioned in my community, and also if you go to julylifecoach.com, the first thing you see in the header is this program. We have lots of ways to check out the information about this. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. You can hop onto my Discord channel by typing Discord here. You get the link, but also you can email me at billy@julylifecoach.com, and then I'd be happy to walk through everything, and I'd be happy to give you all the answers that you want. And that's it.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. All right. Okay. So, Michelle, I'll see you later, and I want to hang out on my YouTube for a little bit to say hi to people, and then I'll wrap up. Bye, Michelle.
All right, see you. Bye.
All right. Seems like the Discord thing doesn't work because I think Nightbot didn't get renewed. But anyway, yeah, I haven't come out live for a long time because in France I spent time. I told you in the recap video I didn't have a lot of space to do YouTube in France, so I couldn't do that. But I'm back. My wife's been ill, so I've been kind of like taking care of her. But today had some bandwidth to talk about stuff with Michelle. And yeah, overall, I'm planning to come live on YouTube more often. I'm planning to make it at least once a week for now. Maybe more often when I have the bandwidth. But yeah, it's just been nice to hang out with you, SB. I'm glad you stuck around, and all the other people who came by as well. I saw there were like 6 concurrent viewers at some point. Yeah, thanks for checking out this YouTube channel and the things that we're going to be doing. I hope that this session was informative to you. And all right, well, that's a wrap. And I'll see you guys on next YouTube live, and I will try my best to announce it beforehand so you can take advantage of it. Okay, toodles.